We finally see it animated. After so long, it's finally here. Kenpachi's Shikai is finally revealed, and also we finally have all the meteor scenes in the big three animated, while also giving us one of the most insane anime fights of all time. So without wasting any more time, let's get started with this absolutely insane episode of Bleach. So the title for this episode is I Am the Edge, which by itself would be kind of cringe, but because it's Bleach and because it's Kenpachi himself, the title couldn't be any more perfect. And the episode is mostly just the introduction of Gremmy and his fight with Kenpachi, but holy shit, this was just so well done. The episode starts with Unohana and Yachiro's lieutenant getting attacked by Stern Ritter V, the Vanishing Point, and his letter is going to be important later on, so keep that in mind. And we get to see Yachiro's Shikai as well, and Unohana's lieutenant also mentions that Yachiro's Shikai is very unusual, so keep that in mind for later on. After she manages to land a hit on the Stern Ritter, Gremmy appears there and kills the Stern Ritter V, and it turns out that he was just an imagination of Gremmy and he is the actual Stern Ritter V, the Visionary, and his powers are to make anything, literally anything imagines into reality. Yes, you heard that correctly, this is by far one of the most insane powers in all of Bleach, possibly all of anime. Yachiro tries to attack Gremmy, but he imagines Yachiro's bones being cookies and makes her completely unable to move. It's actually ridiculous just how freaking broken his power is, and makes you wonder just how does Kenpachi even manage to win against him. But it's surprisingly really well done. Aside from maybe Gremmy not using his ability to its maximum potential, because as far as I'm aware his power doesn't really have any kind of limit, but it could be also explained that Gremmy needs to believe what he's imagining for it to actually work, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. But yeah, after messing up Yachiro, Kenpachi finally makes his entrance because he noticed Yachiro's spiritual pressure dropping. And what's about to happen moving forward is easily one of the most insane anime fights of all time. A guy who can literally imagine anything and turn it into reality versus a guy who's just the pure freaking definition of raw. Normally you wouldn't have expected Gremmy to be Kenpachi's opponent, but it just somehow works really well. Gremmy literally starts the fight with imagining a stage fight with Kenpachi and it just appears. The animation was top tier and the voice acting was great as usual, but the best part about the episode, aside from Kenpachi, has to be all the crazy things you get to witness in this fight. Like nobody in their right mind would have ever imagined getting to see Kenpachi sent into the outer space and coming out of it while being a freaking badass. Or him going to attack Gremmy, but he's instantly inside a block of water. And what's great about this fight isn't just the fight itself, but the characters as well. Both Kenpachi and Gremmy believe themselves to be the strongest, but while Kenpachi is always looking for stronger people to fight with because he just enjoys fighting and reaching new heights, Gremmy believes that because he's the strongest, he doesn't need to prove anything to anyone and is never really motivated to go all out. And Kenpachi's words strike a chord in his head, causing him to realize that because he never had anyone who could challenge him seriously, they always thought that Gremmy would win anyways. Kenpachi appears challenging him for the first time and he gets excited about it and feels good. This scene was just freaking nuts. He literally just turned into a school shooter and Kenpachi just casually using the ground to block all the bullets and slices the missiles in half as well. Kenpachi is literally one of the most badass anime characters of all time and you can't change my mind on that. And then we also have the meteor scene where Gremmy makes a clone of himself and decides to just straight up drop a fucking meteor on the Soul Society. And of course, Kenpachi being who is, he gets excited by the fact that he gets to cut a meteor for the first time and uses his Shikai for the first time after so long. After such a long time of him being a badass without even needing a Shikai, he splits the meteor in half. And it was one of the most badass moments of Bleach so far. Seeing all this, Gremmy just decides to take Kenpachi to space to kill him, but Gremmy doesn't realize that Kenpachi is him, and he comes out of the portal to space and slices Gremmy's body in half. Then Gremmy decides to self-destruct his freaking clones and Kenpachi still manages to survive. After all of this, Gremmy gets desperate to prove his strength by beating Kenpachi, so he imagines himself being stronger than Kenpachi himself, which causes his body to bulk up, and as he's approaching Kenpachi, his body starts tearing from the inside. because he imagined Kenpachi as a monster inside his head, seeing just how insane he is, and his body couldn't handle the powers he imagined Kenpachi having, causing his body to get destroyed from the inside. And that's pretty much the end of this absolutely insane fight. And holy shit, it was just so damn epic, and really well written as well. Although I do have some issues with how Grammy was handled, but I'm gonna leave those alone for today. Everything from no one challenging Grammy because they thought he'd win anyways, causing him to feel like he's the strongest and doesn't need to prove anything, to Kenpachi appearing and blowing past everything that Grammy threw at him, made Grammy feel like Kenpachi was a monster because he's the first person to ever manage to challenge him and survive literally everything he can imagine. In the end, this is what caused his defeat. Overall, a fantastic episode of Bleach, and can't wait to see the rest of this core adapted. Like and sub for more Bleach and anime content in general, and let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about this episode. With all that being said though, peace.